welcome to the Remington Podcast, where we take a deep dive into all things ammunition. I'm your host, Audrey Mayes, and today we're in a little bit of a different setting. I'm sitting down with three great outdoorsmen, outdoor writer and content creator, Bethany Beathard.
Hello.
And outdoor mentor and podcast host of the Woods and Water Project, Steph Lane.
Hi.
And Team Remington pro shooter, Madison Sharpe.
Hey, y'all.
We're here actually going Arkansas duck hunting, doing a lot of cool stuff. That's all. You'll see all this amazing content that we're creating later. But yeah, we got all these great people together and we're having a great weekend. And let's just dive right into it. This year, Bethany, snagged a huge buck in Missouri. Me and Steph were there with her, but will you tell us the story?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we went to a hunt that we were invited to, and I was totally just low expectations. And this hunt was really more about like donating me and like providing like land management, really. And so by the time that we've already done like a 6-hour sit by the time that we get to this second sit. And I'm pretty much like, if it's brown, it's down, because I was like, man, I want to do something, we've already been there. Anyways,
we were all in pain because this was not easy.
No,
we
it's
were
not.
Sitting in like old rickety tree stands.
Yeah, like they were like handmade stands.
Yeah,
and so yeah, I get dropped off. I'm the last one to get dropped off that day, and it's 2:50 for the evening sit. And I see all these turkeys, and I'm like, man, I really wish I was turkey hunting right now. And I really need an Eastern. And so I look down and I see a doe come out, and I'm like, oh, I'm already seeing deer. It's 3:00 in the afternoon. And I range her. She's like 390, or she was 490. And she keeps looking back, and then here comes another doe. And like barely through like the crotch of this tree, because I'm on the tree line, and it's a hay field. And a little bit about the property, like it's a working cattle ranch. Like There's no food plots, there's no feeders. And so the expectation to harvest a big buck was really low, because there's not even cameras. Like they're like, oh yeah, we have some nice deer over here. And I'm like, okay, I see this massive deer put his head down, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And so I wait until he gets out to the opening. And, I'm shooting a 7mm PRC. So I've shot a mile. We actually shot 1,000 yards that day, or the day before.
So you knew you were capable.
So I knew I was capable.
Yeah.
But the ethical hunter in me was like, I'm not going to shoot a deer at somebody else's property, and risk, I just didn't want to do that at that range. And so I'm like, I'm going to try to get this deer closer. And I do 2 grunt calls, and he doesn't care anything.
Like, okay.
No.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
not
get
doing
out
this.
of here.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And just so happened, before I got out of the car, they had gave me rattling antlers. Like, you should keep these. And I was like, okay, yeah, like whatever. So I hit those rattlers. He immediately looks at me, and he's like, oh, there's something else here. And beelines to me, and I'm ranging. I'm trying to push my optic, because I had it on the most magnification, looking at him. Because he's coming so fast. I'm like 354, 271. And yeah, so I rattle him into, it was the last range, where I shot was 112 yards. And I mean, he didn't go 10, shooting a tipped ammunition. It was optimized for long range hunting, but I didn't even need that, because it just he read the textbook and he came in. Scored 163. I mean, he was amazing Missouri buck. And I mean, such a once in a lifetime opportunity. It was amazing. And the owner was so nice, and he was like, congratulations, great. And I was just like, this is an amazing deer.
Yeah.
Just great.
You don't understand.
You do not understand, No, it was awesome. Great opportunity. I mean, really to just you practice these things, rattling, calling, and really see just the right time, the rut at the right time. It was right after a full moon, and just hitting all those techniques. It was it really came together, and really seeing all those things that you study, all those things that you practice, what works in the moment. Cause some people grunt tubes are they work, and that didn't work in that scenario. So I really to have like a toolkit that you're pulling from as like an, you know, I always say I want to be a well-rounded sportswoman. And it was like one of those times like, okay, that didn't work. Let's do something else. And also just spending time on the range. Like I've shot a 7mm PRC several times this year, and it was just like, I was so confident in the gun and the ammunition that I knew like I was going to connect, you know, and it was more about just like making like an ethical call on it, you know, for me.
And to be honest, like you could have reached him out there, like with that ammo for sure. And I mean, if you wouldn't have rattled, he wouldn't have come in. Would you still have taken the shot?
Probably.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have nailed him because the day before, were you shooting the same ammo at the range day? Yeah. So the day before, I mean, you were just nailing targets too with that stuff. And we went, what, 3-6 1,000? Was that like 300, 600, 1,000?
Yeah. Actually, I just started at 500.
Did you?
Yeah. Because I was like, I know that I'm already like there on the range.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was awesome. And I feel like when you have like the confidence like in your gun, you know, you can do that. But for me, it was more like I bow hunt a lot too. And just like that intimate, like I feel like I want to bring that back to like firearm hunting too. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. And 7mm PRC is like such a great caliber. 7mm is iconic. PRC is fast. Man, those things move and they fly so flat. Yeah. We offer 7mm PRC in Premier Long Range and Core-Lokt tipped. 2 different grain weights. So, I mean, we got it for everybody is what I'm trying to say. And great caliber, great gun. Because I saw it, your gun. I can't remember what it was, but I was jealous.
Savage.
Yeah, it was good looking.
Like, it's amazing. It's threaded. You can put a silencer on it too. And yeah, it is an amazing gun. It's the 110 High Country, and just like it's very versatile. Like, you know, like you said, you could take it in the deer woods, or you can take it, and I've shot a mile with it. Right. You know, so like you could do either or. You know, yeah, it's an amazing gun.
Yeah. And Steph, you were there. Neither of us shot anything that weekend.
We didn't, but we were very happy for her.
We were
very happy for her.
Yeah. We got that big buck down text. We were like,
dang. Yeah. I know. They were like, okay. But I was like, no, guys.
You're like, you don't
understand. Just wait.
Yeah. We rolled up on it in camp. And it was like, oh, she meant big buck.
Yeah, like a big buck.
Yeah. She wasn't joking. Yeah. Steph, we went to that hunt together, but we've known each other for a while. You were actually on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about Pass It On, which is the company you work for.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the Iowa program coordinator for Pass It On Outdoor Mentors. I've been there for over 3 years, and I'm actually helping us expand out to Missouri right now. But Pass It On is in Iowa, Kansas, Wisconsin, and growing into Missouri, and hopefully Arkansas. We would love to be in Arkansas also. But yeah, my job is to find mentors and who love hunting and fishing, and then reaching out to kids in my state and partnering them with those mentors and getting them outside. So yeah, I love what I do. It's like a dream job. Really. Yeah.
I know you work a lot with, like the Trap Association and stuff like that. That's kind of like how you find the kids, right? Because it transfers so well.
In Iowa, specifically, trap shooting sports in general, sporting clays and archery are huge in the state of Iowa. We in Iowa, those kids have to go through some sort of shooting training, and oftentimes that's hunter's ed. So in our program, the kids can be from 11 to 22 to go on our hunts or fishing, but for hunting, they have to have hunter's ed. It's one of our prerequisites, regardless of like what the law is for that state. They have to have hunter's ed. So with shooting sports, you've got kids that have hunter's ed who have some sort of shooting like weapon in their hand that they're really good at. They're probably better than most adults are and safer. And then it's just like a gateway into this world. And a lot of them have maybe like dabbled in it a little bit, one species, or just need that person to take them, or that, you know, they don't have it in their family, so they want to go. So I think last year it was like 98% of our kids that we took were on a shooting team.
And I know that you personally are a turkey hunter, but every time I think of you, I think of Upland because we met at Pheasant Fest, right? Yeah. So how has Upland season been for you this year?
It's been all right. It's been really warm in Iowa.
Okay.
It's always a good time. We've got a lot of bird dogs and we have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of dogs we're training right now. So it's just always fun. And my boyfriend and I are always taking people. He takes vets every year. I take women every year. And then we collectively mentor kids every year. So we don't go for ourselves actually that much, but which is okay. Like, we actually enjoy taking other people more, oftentimes, than going for ourselves. But we do, we'll take the pack, split them up, and we'll go solo. And there's been a couple really good wins with some of our young dogs this year, like some of the points they've done and getting on birds and just seeing them polish up. Like, I don't even care about like the limits for me. I care about like how the dog work is and connecting with that bird and like making the whole show happen. That's the best part.
Yeah. I recently was approached by someone at Remington that said that there's a certain thing called a grouse load and a certain thing called a pheasant load. And I had never heard of that before, probably because I'm from Texas. What would you say like the main difference is when you're reaching for an upland load? Yeah.
And I like to, so where I live and where I primarily hunt, it's mostly pheasant. But I do grouse hunt and I do quail hunt, and I do dove hunt. And so sometimes, like for me, it's, if I'm going to have a chance at quail and pheasant, I'm going to take something that is going to kind of be successful for either or, mostly pheasant. So that's the bigger of the birds, really. So anything around like probably a 5-shot either way, like 4-shot, 6-shot, you can be successful with those. I think you just kind of have to know yourself and know your shooting and, know the situation.
And know your birds, right?
Yeah. And what Bethany said, like, I love that. Like, I'm an archery hunter too. Like when she's talking about just like knowing your gun and feeling comfortable with that and what you're using, that piece makes it so much more comfortable to kind of like switch your ammo too, right? And then you can play with that and like really fine tune it. But really, like what's available, something around a 5-shot is typically what you're gonna
reach for.
Yeah.
I think versatility is really important, like in any kind of game load, duck load, pheasant load, anything like that. So I like that there's something that is kind of easy to reach for.
Yeah. And you have to keep in mind, obviously, that pheasants are bigger. So you want a bigger shot for a pheasant that might decimate a quail or a dove.
Or like a woodcock or something tiny. Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind if you're going to be using the same ammo while you're walking around, right?
Yeah.
Because that definitely is something that can happen where we hunt. You're going to see multiple species of upland birds. So
that makes total sense.
Use your best judgment.
Don't murk birds that bad.
That's
right. Madison, you're a Team Remington pro shooter, and you took us out, earlier to show us how to sling a shotgun on a sporting clays course. How's it been on Team Remington this year?
Well, Team Remington in general has had a very good win year. National championships, world championships, U.S. Open titles, regionals. This year I won my second U.S. Open title. I won my first world championship, all using the nitros. That's where it's at. All of Team Remington actually, we call the nitros nitro bombs. They hammer a target.
I love that.
They do. When you're already shooting well and you just dust ball a target, it takes your confidence to a whole nother level.
Yeah. When it just disappears after you pull the trigger.
Yeah. That's why I love them. And they're low recoil. I actually shoot the 1 ounce 1290 7.5s for everything. I don't change shells. That's where my confidence is at. I know, any bird can be thrown and my shell's going to break it.
Yeah.
Kind of like what everybody else was saying, confidence. That's why we, choose what we choose. And that's really why I chose Remington. Remington chose me, and I'm so happy to be a part of the team.
Yeah, definitely. And when you say nitros, you mean nitro 27s.
Yes.
Yeah, which is super interesting. We have nitro sporting clays as well. I just know you shoot nitro 27s because I know you. But historically, the 27s are a trap load, because 27-yard line handicaps. And when I met you and I noticed you shot nitro 27s for sporting clays, I said, that's genius, because those things move.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, and they hammer a target.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like a bomb goes off when it hits the target and just makes it explode.
Yeah, perfect. It's a perfect sporting load. And we got to shoot some nitro 27s this weekend, and we got to see the difference, between like a normal sporting load and then nitro 27s. So how did it handle for you guys?
the target wasn't left. So
There's
was
no
great.
orange left. Yeah.
I thought they were great. And, I've done several sporting clay courses. And, that was like awesome. The course was awesome. Actually, I really did. Like, I would go back and I need a membership here,
Oh yeah. That was your first time at the Remington Gun
Yeah,
Club.
it was. Yeah. It was great. I loved the walking to stations because I've been to places where you just stay in the same and they just have different,
trap
machines. But actually walking, that's what she was saying, the golf course, earlier when we were talking about, it kind of felt like that, vibe of just this is something that we're doing together. And we've seen other people there, kind of the same thing. It was a group of people just kind of it was like a friend thing.
Hanging out.
Yeah. I thought they handled well though. I really liked the nitro lids.
Yeah. And, the Remington Gun Club is actually open to the public. You don't even need a membership.
Oh.
Yeah. Just show on up, guys. Come on in. So, anytime you're in town, Beth, come on over.
Yeah.
But, Madison, just like Steph, when I think Madison Sharpe, I think duck hunting. I think it's because you Arkansas duck hunt every year. And, we're all Arkansas duck hunting this weekend, but what does Arkansas duck hunting mean for you?
Well, so my daddy brought me out here for the first time when I was 5 years old. And honestly, if it wasn't for this place, I don't think I would be shooting.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would be a world champion. I don't think I would be a national champion. Obviously, if I wasn't shooting, I wouldn't have met all you guys. Remington means a lot to me. We have a really good team. And we just all love the outdoors. And that's what I really like about clays and ducks. And it's just a community of people who all are there for the same reason.
Yeah.
And everyone turns into family, which is the awesome part about it.
Yeah. I feel like we really have.
we have.
This whole weekend. It's not even over yet. So it's going to be great. But what are we shooting this weekend?
So we're shooting the duplexes. We're actually shooting the 2x4s this week, which is great because, we were shooting mallards, we were shooting some teal. And I mean, they hammer, big birds, small birds. And that's why I really like the duplexes is because you never know when you're sitting in the blind what you're going to see.
Yeah.
What's going to decoy in. And just those shells being able to kill small birds, big birds, it works for all of them.
Yeah, versatility, just like we were talking about with what to reach for kind of thing. Yep. My favorite fun fact about Remington is that we actually introduced duplexes to the mass public. We coined the term duplex, and we recently came out with nitro steel duplex, which is our classic nitro steel loads. Remington nitro steel is what everyone sees in Walmart, and then now that there's Premier Remington nitro steel duplex, it's the next step up. It's like what Madison said. If you don't really know what's going to be out there, when you're on the coast of Port Aransas, you kind of know. You have your bigger ducks, you got your redheads. The
only time I know, okay, today I'm going to shoot this specific duck is when we're early teal season hunting, because that's the only thing you can shoot. So, we're expecting to only shoot teal. So
then you're reaching for a smaller shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you don't know what's coming at you, having two shot sizes in the same shell, that's kind of iconic. So, what do you guys think of this weekend so far? Steph?
I think it's been awesome. I've hosted and been on a lot of women's hunts, and every single one of them has been special. But this is for so many reasons amazing. The three of you, how Remington is supporting us in such a way to be here and brought us together is wild. The being in Arkansas. That's iconic for so many reasons. Just the how we were treated in the blind today. Yeah. The experience, the duck hunting itself, every detail has been pretty special and incredible. I'm just it's going by so fast now. It's just been amazing. Your coaching, on that was such a blast for me. Every piece of this has been a really good time.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad. Beth, have you ever duck hunted in Arkansas before?
I have not.
Yeah.
And so this has been well, one, I feel like I'm still processing like what's happening.
Oh,
Because it's like not over yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet. Yeah.
So I'm like leaving room for that. I think one, I haven't been to Arkansas hunting ever, actually. And so this is like what you think of when you think of duck hunting, like I'm like, yeah, duck hunt in Oklahoma, which I think is like when you talk about the flyways, I feel like we get a taste of really similar of what's going on. And honestly, I feel like it's shifted a lot in Oklahoma. Like the waterfowl Oklahoma space is really big right now. But being here is like, well, now I'm doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And also like I touched on this earlier, I'm really big about like the nostalgia feel of like hunting heritage and, just being a part of something that Remington is doing is really cool for me. And seeing like, oh, this is what my grandpa shot, and like I'm doing it too. And then like my kids are like, oh yeah, like my mom did that, or whatever. So it like passing that on, like being like another link in the chain for Remington's like legacy is like really cool. And just like paving, like we talked about like women in the outdoors and like seeing the growth in that and like just being a part of the movement of women like at the forefront, showing on like social media. And like I do a lot of writing and just being able to be a part of the movement and seeing all the women like from all walks of life doing amazing things. I'm just like really happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I like what you said. I like that we all come from completely different backgrounds and we're all in completely different facets of the outdoor industry. But when we get in a duck blind, we're very similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all talk the same kind of smack, basically. Is what we're trying to say. The Dayquil still gets passed,
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for being here. This is the first year that we've ever gotten to anything like this, and hopefully we'll be here again.
Yeah.
One thing that you guys all have in common that I do not is that you're all turkey hunters. Yeah. So and I know that turkey hunters usually have some kind of like grand slam list, right?
Yes.
Question mark?
So there's different grand slams.
Okay.
Well, the Grand Slam is like the 4 main wild turkeys in North America. Then you have like the Royal Slam that adds like the gold, right? And then what's the other one?
You can get also the ones that are in
like Mexico,
South America,
and that's like another.
Yes,
but for like America, the most common one's the Grand Slam.
Yeah,
and it's the 4 most common.
And that's the Rio, the Merriam, the Eastern and the Osceola.
Yep.
Okay. And so what are we going for this year? This upcoming turkey season here?
We're probably both halfway there. Right?
Yeah.
I got 2. I've got 2. Yeah. And then
I've only had my Eastern, but I do. So my goal is I want to do a single season Grand Slam. So maybe this year we'll see.
Yeah. I almost did that last year.
So close. What did you? What do you have left?
I have an Eastern and Merriam left.
Yeah,
I got my first Osceola last year, which was an amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was so fun.
Are the Osceolas the one that are down in like Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Very colorful, right? That's their whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're really similar to Easterns. They're like pinker.
Yeah.
Smaller, right? Yeah.
They've got like they're kind of in swamps too, so they've got longer legs.
Yes.
Okay.
And when the light hits them, that's where people think of them being like really colorful too. When the light hits them, turkeys obviously, if you light hits them, they just color shows and they shine. Osceola is probably a little bit more so.
Yes.
And then there's like the ocellated, which is in a different country, which a lot of people, it's like an extreme, almost like a peacock and a turkey had a baby.
Yeah.
Kind of looking.
That's
turkey.
like and you can get that in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are extremely cool looking
yes,
for someone who doesn't turkey hunt. But hopefully this year.
Yeah. No,
hopefully this year.
If we can work it out, you're welcome, and I'd love to put you on some turkeys. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think because it's going to be my first opportunity to get a turkey, I'm reaching for TSS, y'all. I'm going to go Remington TSS. I'm going to spend that money. Bang flop.
Bang flop.
That's what I'm reaching for.
Yes. I wouldn't head to the turkey woods without TSS.
Without TSS, yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you gotta have it.
Yeah. What do you shoot your turkey loads?
The TSS.
TSS as well.
So my very first turkey I ever shot, because I was a little girl, hunting with my dad, and he actually just gave me a regular. It was a nitro, actually.
Really?
Just a nitro.
Yeah.
He came gobbling right up to us, and I'm just sitting down, almost like a little ditch. It was more like a canal, I guess you could say. and this turkey comes running up, and he's full strut. He's just gobbling right there in our face. And like at that moment, I don't know how old I was, probably 7, 8. I was scared. Like I was very intimidated by that turkey.
Really?
I mean, he was just full strut,
In your
just
face.
hammering down right there. And my dad's like, shoot. Like my dad's like nudging me. And like I'm just staring at this turkey. I'm like, he's going to like jump on me.
Yeah.
And ended up killing it. And then I was like, okay, that was really, really fun. You know, I want to do it some more. And then as I got a little bit bigger, we put me in some better loads.
Reached over the TSS. Yeah. I mean, it does kick at both ends, you know, so you kind of got to be ready for that. I don't know if I'd hand TSS to like a little kid.
Yeah.
But to each his own. I mean, shoot, if your kid can handle it, then you're good to go.
And in case we missed it, golds are the ones in Mexico. Oscillated are
the ones in South America?
Yes. I don't know what we said, but I just want to make sure.
Golds are also in southern, like a small sector of Arizona.
Okay.
It's a very like small area.
So if you shoot a gold in Arizona, do you still get your royal, or do you have to go to Mexico?
No, that is the Royal Slam. The other one is, what is it called?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know at the top of my head what it's called. Yeah.
Just curious. Again.
Yeah. And I'm like super motivated even to just hunt turkeys in different states also and different regions, regardless of like the subspecies that they are. Because they behave different. Like a mountain turkey is very different than a Great Plains turkey and a swamp turkey. Heavy, hardwood turkeys are very different than like open areas, if that's like their normal everyday life. So like understanding what they're doing, how they're talking, I get so excited.
And also like we have a lot of hybrid areas. Like Texas is a hybrid area where you're seeing like Merriam's and Rios crossing. You're seeing Easterns and Rios crossing in Oklahoma. So there's a lot of hybrid areas. And so it really is less about the subspecies and more about the habitat, like she's saying.
Yeah. And how they act is just a little bit different. And just like anything else, how much pressure,
right?
100%.
Calling to them, you don't even have to sound like a turkey in some places to call them. And in other ones, you better be doing a pretty dang good job at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I said about turkey hunting in South Texas, because I could just like yell at them, like, and then they'd gobble at me.
Well, they say Rios are stupid. And so that's kind of like the joke in turkey hunting world is like Rios are loud and dumb, you know? And so you can get a shot gobble pretty easy out of Rio. Getting them close is a different story sometimes.
Based off of like, we tried our hand at duck calling this weekend. Based off of that, I'm really wishing ducks were like that.
Yeah.
I'm really wishing I could just make a noise at a duck and it would turn around and come at me.
Yes. And the wind was a huge factor.
Yeah.
What did Rick say?
Let's blame
he
it on
said
that.
if they were far enough.
Yeah.
Like we all could just
If we all did it at the same time and they were far enough away.
He's like, we'll call him in.
We'd bring them in. We'll get better. It's okay. Plus, we'll get another shot at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's been a great weekend, guys, and love to have you back anytime. So
for sure. Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thank you.
No worries. Well, there you have it, guys. Remington is on the rise. Like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to share this podcast with your hunting or shooting buddies. If you want to get a hold of me, or Beth, or Steph, or Madison, you can email us at podcast@remington.com. Thanks for listening.